Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries. This is the last book that I'm going to be doing for the flip throughs for my 2023 books, and this one is my ink journal. So this is pretty familiar if you watch any of my ink exploration videos or my currently inked or my ink progress reports, anything like that. And I really wanted to do a flip through of all of the progress that I made in 2023 in this book. So I didn't actually start this book until May, but I still want to show everything because I think it's really fun to look at for me. So I think it would be fun to look at for you guys. So opening page, I just wrote down inks. This sticker is from Goulet Pens. It was one of the orders that I got some time ago, and I felt it was appropriate for this type of book. I have a few index pages in the beginning, just because I wasn't sure how many things I was going to need to index. I left probably way too many pages, but it's okay. And then I have my opening page for May. So like I said, I started this in May of 2023. So usually I would do a currently inked page and then a progress and review page. And I started, I think, really basic with the stuff I was already using. And then over time, I got a little bit more creative with my currently inked pages. And then at the end of every month, I was supposed to go back in and count like how many pens I had in my collection, how many ink bottles, how many samples and cartridges, things like that. I did not keep up with that. I only did it for May, and that was it. I didn't do it any other month after that. But at the end of the year, I usually do inventory anyways, so it is what it is. The first ink exploration I ever did for this YouTube channel was black, and this is still one of my favorite. I don't know. There's just something about black ink. Like it's a staple, right? Like you have to have a good black. And I feel like there's so many out there that are really good, but I have to say my favorites are probably the Pilot Blacks, the Takesumi, and then the 𝗦𝘃𝗽 Black. And I'm not going to go through favorites in every one of these because you can watch my videos and swatches and all that kind of stuff, but I would definitely say having a good black ink is very important. The next collection I did was grays. Love this. Grays are just so nice to write with. They're soft to look at. Like they're just like a muted gray color. Yeah, that makes sense. They're gray, Danielle. Then I did the full collection of the Sailor Manyo inks. I love having all of these on one page. I love it. They are all different, but there are some that are very similar, and I thought it was really cool to be able to see them almost side by side to make those comparisons. Like the Neko Yanagi and the Fuji are really close. One's a bit more purple and one's a bit more pink. And then the Hinoki and the Ayame are really close, but one's a bit more green and one's a bit more gray. And I don't know. I just love seeing them all together. Then I moved on into my June, and this is when I started naming my color schemes. So whatever colors I had picked, I went ahead and put them all in like a little bottle stamp. It's this one. I got it off of Jet Pens. But and then I would kind of label out what I consider the color scheme to be. So like this one was Desert Summer because I felt it was a really good summery, deserty, like dry sand kind of look. And then I would rate progress wise like 1 through 7 on this side. Oh, okay, so I started to do the end of June inventory, but I didn't actually make it. Then I did my blue blacks, or is it black blue? And some of these I think I had comments saying they weren't actually blue black, which is part of the fun of doing these for me too, is seeing what you guys have to say and come up with and give me recommendations and help with my ink addiction and growing my collection that's forever gonna grow at this point, but it's fun. Then I did my bright blues. Geez, these pages are so fun to look at. Just so fun. And this was the blue ink that I spilled, which is why it's kind of like all in the corners up here. It was the Color vs. Supernova. Then I did my light blues. This is so dreamy to look at. And then Ginger Peachy pens, or I think it might just be Ginger Peachy now. I don't know. She did a hashtag ink rainbow. Like, what are your ink rainbow? Like, what's your favorite inks in the rainbow? And I did mine, and these are the ones that I loved at the time. I don't know if I'd make any changes, honestly. I really do love all of these. Yeah, I really do love all of these. I don't know if I'd make any changes. Anyways, then moving on into teal inks or turquoise inks. Also, aqua inks could go in here too. I feel like that's a good comparison for them as well. Then I did my July. My theme was winter in July. Nice dark wintry colors. Then we moved on into the greens, some of my favorite inks. Like, just hands down, I love writing with green ink. It's just so much fun. I think I've just like green in general. These are the light greens. Then I did the regular greens, or the green greens. Then I did my olive greens, which are probably some of my ultimate favorites. I have several bottles from this collection here. Then I did dark greens. Also have a few bottles from this collection. And then gray greens, I think, or off green. These ones are really interesting to write with, especially if they're good shaders, like the Moss Park green, or even the 𝗤𝘃𝗁𝗄𝗃. Very good as well. Then I did all of the 𝗓𝘂𝘁𝗃𝗏 collection before they added in the new ones that they did at the end of 2023. I don't have those on these pages, but maybe I'll do an updated one at some point with the new collection, or maybe I'll just watch the new collection on its own. But the new ones are much more on the dark side. They're kind of like almost a off black color for each one. Then we move into August. I picked Summer at the Bay, and I think I did that because I had so many oysters, like inks with oyster in the name, either the brand or the color itself. Then I did the full 𝗏𝘁𝗁𝗄𝗏 Zuku collection. I love seeing this all together. Still mad that they've discontinued some of my favorites, but it's okay. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll come back someday, but I definitely love looking at these pages too. Then I moved on into September. This is when I picked a color scheme similar to the Monet painting, the Water Lilies, because Coffee Monsters Co. had released a washi tape and a whole collection of stuff with the Water Lilies painting, which I love the colors in that painting. So I wanted to do my inks to match it. Then we moved on into the brown inks. Started with dark brown. Then the light browns. Even though these ones might be a little bit more yellow. Like the honey might be considered a bit more yellow. Regular brown browns. Then I did the 𝗓𝘂𝘁𝗁𝗄𝗏 collection. Gorgeous shaders in this group. Then we moved on into October. My color scheme was called a spooky tea party, and I know it's because I had a few inks that were tea themed. Then we did yellows, which I've always struggled to find good yellows, but I think I have a few that I'm really in love with at this point that I definitely would keep using. Then I did yellow oranges or orange yellows. More like the warm side of orange, I guess. Then we did standard oranges. I feel like orange is such an interesting color to write with, especially if it's more yellow or more red. The plain orange ones are kind of like, it's alright, but I prefer the ones that are a bit like more shaded towards other like red or yellow sides. Like these ones. So I did red, orange, and then corals together because I felt like they were really close to put, like good to put in a group together. Then we did my blood red inks for Halloween. This was so much fun to make that video. And then we move on into November. I did my theme as a night in the forest, and this is because I got my Holy Grail pen, the Pilot Capless, or the Vanishing Point, in the 30th anniversary Taiwan edition. Still one of my favorites. Then we just did regular reds, although the Ferris Wheel Press Song of Scarlet could continue to be in the dark reds or blood red category. Then we moved on into pinks. Dark pink. Gorgeous. Then we did regular pinks or plain pink, medium pink, hot pink even. Then we did light pink and rose. Some really pretty ones in this one. And then we move on into December, the last month of inks I did in here, but I did a lot more in December, I think, because I had the ink vent as well. But for my color scheme, I did It's a Wonderful Life because I've explained before, December is not always the best month for me, and I like the grayscale, and it actually was really fun to write with. I know I didn't show the progress report of this one, but I would definitely say the Monteverde Trees of the World pen I had inked up was my favorite for the month. I wrote it completely dry. I barely had enough to finish writing this little blurb. So, and then the Birmingham Pen Co. was definitely number 2 because that Pennsylvania Fieldstone and the Kaweco medium nib was just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Then we moved on into our magenta inks. So pretty to look at this one. And then I did light purples. Also, thank you, Lisa, for sending me the bottle of Jane Eyre. I have inked it up for January. I'll have a video coming on that soon. Then we have purples. Love these pages so much. I actually discovered that I have the most purple ink in my collection. I thought it was going to be a different color, like green or brown, but I have the most purple, which I was pretty surprised about. We have dark purple, which thank you for helping me pronounce 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is still very fun to say. And then the last purple ink exploration I haven't done yet. So these pages are blank, but they will go there. And then I had the 2022 green ink vent on these pages. And then on the flip side, I did the whole 2023 purple ink vent right afterwards. And I really love seeing them kind of like one after the other. So maybe if 2024, if I get it, I'll try to put all of them next to each other again. If I still have all of the inks anyways, if I don't use them up. Then I got my first Birmingham Pen Co. inks and I swatched them all out on these pages. Thank you, Priscilla. I have another Birmingham Pen Co. ink video I want to make. I got a nice chunky order. I just need to swatch them out for you guys, and that will be coming soon. And I think that's it. Yeah, that is it. The rest of these pages aren't ready for the camera yet, but that is pretty much it for my lovely ink journal that I had going on for the whole year, or half the year, I guess, of 2023. I honestly really enjoyed having this, and I love seeing how it chunked out just with ink. I guess because I glued pages together so they wouldn't be super, I don't know. I just glued the pages together to make it easier to flip through it, I guess. And so it's very chunky, even though it's only like half full. So there's still like half the journal left. So I'm interested to see how it's going to look once I finish it, which I do plan on continuing to do swatches in this one until it finishes. I do have another book that I'm using in 2024 for ink as well. That's a planner. I'm going to do stuff in that too, but like for bigger swatches to showcase the ink properties a little bit better, I will continue to use this book. Anyways, I want to thank you so much for watching, for joining me here today. If you enjoyed this little flip of my ink journal, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to know there are so many other ink fanatics out there, ink addicts, whatever you want to call us. And I'm always happy to see the recommendations y'all give me. And it warms my heart when y'all send me emails or DMs and just ask me about ink, because it's so much fun and I really enjoy fountain pen ink quite a bit. So I'm so happy there's a little community of us now that have been here for a while, and I'm just now recently joining. But anyways, again, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.